Thank you everybody, and thank you Suki for that wonderful introduction. And thank you to all of you who can make it today at this year's May Day rally. My name is Robyn Martin and I'm a Unison Steward and the Women's Representative sitting on the Young Members Committee of Unison. I feel absolutely honoured to be here today representing and amplifying the voices of hundreds of thousands of care workers up and down the country who pay the price for private profiteering in the sector. Palestinians are currently paying the ultimate price for private profit, and on behalf of the trade union movement, I'd like to express our complete and total solidarity with their struggle and their right to defend themselves against occupation. We are always and forever united in class struggle, from the river to the sea. I'd like to begin by asking you all today to just make some noise if you have ever worked at or are working in care or know someone who's needed care at some point in their lives. That is precisely why saving the care sector is everyone's business. It's a crucial service that everyone in society both benefits from and relies upon, regardless of your circumstance or background. The care sector is therefore worth campaigning to not only save, but to transform from a for-profit model to a for-care service, one which we can all be proud of. Since October 2023, the workers at Enable have recruited 132 new members into the union and seen our Stewards Committee increase sevenfold. In January, the workers held our first ballot where we rejected Enable's no-pay offer of £12 per hour, with two landslide outcomes of 89% voting no to this offer and 85% voting yes to industrial action. Our members from across the sector launched an investigation into the economic structure of the care industry in Scotland, which painted a very bleak picture of our workforce's conditions. We have come across multiple employers who face crippling staff shortages, ineffective and insufficient PPE, and inadequate publication of our rotas, with some services not receiving their month shifts until the day before their next rota period. Further, the vast majority of care workers are women, many of whom are in precarious contracts which are disguised as flexible working hours. Under this pretence, employers are getting away with not funding sick and holiday pay, a sacrifice many women are willing to make because of childcare responsibilities. At the moment, taking on a contract in care means being overworked due to extreme understaffing, which is something mothers simply cannot commit to doing. The COVID inquiry also unveiled the exploitation and crisis the care workforce had to endure during the pandemic, of which both the Scottish and the UK parliaments have learned few lessons. The UK's biggest care home chain saw their profit margins jump by 18% on average. Meanwhile, we had care workers wearing bin bags as aprons, terrified that they were jeopardising the livelihoods of those that they support and their own families due to a lack of social distancing and efficient health and safety measures. Further, in 2021, it was reported that Barchester Healthcare claimed hundreds of thousands of pounds in your taxpayer-funded furlough money, despite having millions banked in profits. Similarly, in 2024, the Richmond Fellowship maintains £56 million in cash reserves. These rising profits raised concerns over whether additional government funding, which was supposed to support staff on sick leave, was actually spent on frontline staff as intended. One of our most harrowing discoveries was since May 2023, many care workers are not being given sick pay if their time off is less than 3 days. Subsequently, we discovered that £38 million had been lifted from the Fair Work First budget, which was established 3 years ago in 2021. This was not the case during COVID, where care workers at least had sick pay to support them being off unwell with the illness. In 2024, we are now risking the livelihoods of staff and service users because workers are being forced to work while carrying contagious illnesses. It was at this moment clear to the workforce that without action, things are and things are only going to get worse for us. We decided it was time to stop begging on our feet and time to start fighting on our feet. Our first direct action took place on Thursday the 25th of April, where Unison, the GMB and Unite came together and rallied outside the Scottish Government demanding the immediate reinstalment of these missing millions. This was the first joint union event of its kind in years. We then entered the building to attend a meeting with the MSPs to ensure they heard our demands directly from our mouths and from our hearts. MSPs also heard the stories of our service users, who really are one of the driving forces behind us taking action at all. Our priority as carers is to protect the service users' dignity, enable their autonomy and ensure all of their needs are being met. Well, what is dignified about the workforce being underfunded and undervalued? How can we provide this high quality of care when we face cuts and privatisation time and time and time again? The fact is that the quality of care that we're physically able to provide depends entirely upon the provider and what their motivation is. Is it to generate mass profits off the backs of an exhausted and underappreciated workforce, or to actually provide this high quality of care that is rewarding for both the carer and the service user? Currently, profit is more protected in private care services than the worker or service user is. And this is the case across society. We see landlords having their profit protected more than a tenant's rights, for example. And when it comes to arms sales, as we can see in Palestine, profit is protected more than human rights. We simply cannot justify funding war and destroying life and livelihoods abroad when people are being plunged deeper and deeper into in-work poverty at home. We as a workers' society must demand a transformative approach to how the upper class set up profit over people. We must demand that the government focus becomes care standards and human rights and not profit. We must demand that the government fund welfare policies and not warfare. We're organising across all unions, Unison, GMB and Unite,